AP. Just, I guess, any updates that you might have on Josh Allen?
Yeah, Josh has a foot sprain. He'll be day to day. We'll just see how he responds at this point to treatment. We'll see what Sunday looks like as we get through the week, as well as his practice time through the week.
So you have no idea whether he's going to be able to get out there on Wednesday yet?
Don't know, right? We're just going to take it one day at a time here, John, and see where it goes. I talked to the medical team, and he has a chance. We'll just see where that goes. I just spoke with Josh as well, and he's in good spirits. Certainly sore. I thought he played a heck of a game. Took in that second half and led our team in big moments of the game.
And just how much? I mean, obviously, is there any ability? I mean, you talk about 1/11th, but can you quantify what Josh has meant to this offense and this team from a leadership and a production standpoint? Can you quantify that?
Yeah, again, yesterday, whether it was throwing it, running it, just diving for first downs. I mean, I was very not surprised, but impressed with what he did in that game, in particular down the stretch. And I thought the leadership piece really showed up as well, and really proud of him for that. I mean, all this is steps in the right direction in his development as a quarterback and as a leader for this organization.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, Adam Benini, just to follow up on that. There was a report earlier, I don't know if you're aware, that it was turf toe. Is that inaccurate? Foot sprain is what the situation is?
Yeah, that's the term I've gotten from our medical team, Adam.
Okay, and I mean, I think we understand the situation you're in, trying to evaluate. How much of this is, he seemed to think because he finished the game, he'd be all right. Do you get the sense his view on that has changed, or is this a situation where you really want to be careful with this so it doesn't compound itself, since you have 4 very important games left?
Yeah, both. We're just going to take it one day at a time, and I think we'll know more. It's still early. We're just, not even 24 hours off of the game right now. So, we'll just see where it goes, and always going to err on the side of caution in terms of player safety with our players, and making sure, number one, we're not putting them in further harm's way, if you will. And so that's number one. And that's why, I rely on the medical team to give me the information that we need to make a good sound decision here.
Okay, my last would be then just going to the game itself, having had the opportunity to kind of look back at it. Now, can you gauge and maybe describe the situation where you come out and have the first half that you did, maybe some of the reasons behind that, and then what you were able to find as a team and how you were able to adjust? And I suppose that applies on both sides of the ball. Yeah,
it sure does. And, I just think, again, it went back to, our halftime adjustments, and then leadership as well in the second half. Through halftime in the second half, guys were making plays and stepping up, and I think you felt it. Those of you that watched it at home on TV, excuse me, I think they could feel it on TV. I know we could feel it on the sideline, and I was very impressed with the way the guys responded. I mean, they played with their heart, they played with guts, they played with tremendous passion and teamwork, and it was really fun to watch. And that's how the Buffalo Bills play.
Thank you, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, Jackson Roberts here. How you doing?
Good, Jackson.
So kind of along the lines of what John was asking you a minute ago. I mean, when you got Josh and the potential for injury, but he tells us afterwards, he's staying in the game no matter what. To you, what does that say about him as, the competitor that he is?
Yeah. Give me a pair of pads, I'll play right next to him, right? I think if you're a player, you love that. Whether it's offensive player, defensive player, or special teams, that's what you want. So that's why he's the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. One of the reasons.
And then the last for me is, was there a specific message you gave to your guys at halftime before you turned things around?
That was just really, let's get back to doing our 111th in a confident way, and knowing that it's going to take more than just one play, but focus on one play at a time. We weren't going to be able to get back in the game all at once, and we had a lot of football left to be played.
Thanks, John.
Sure.
Coach Mookie Arkansas for Sports Today. How you doing today?
Good, Mookie. How are you?
I'm good, Coach. Coach, now you were able to make some things happen quicker by playing aggressive. Now you had the defending champs on the ropes, but you just couldn't knock them out in time. Will we see more of that approach to start the games going forward?
Well, I would hope. We don't. I can promise you, we don't go out there to play the way we played in the first half. It was, and then just wait to the second half. But I'll reiterate what I said after the game, Mookie. I was impressed with the way that the guys rallied and played, and really stepped up. They played with really one heartbeat, and that was fun to be a part of, fun to watch. And I give them the credit. They really put it on the line, and we had a chance to win the game. At the end there, multiple chances, in fact, to win the game. So at the end of the day, it just came up a little bit short.
Absolutely, Coach. And Leonard Fournette went on to say after the game that his touchdown run was man run because he knew that the Bills defense don't tackle well. They wanted to force y'all to make tackles, and Coach Frazier did a good job putting them in positions like on that 3rd and inches. Tremaine there just, had that tackle for the loss, but Fournette was able to win there. How much do you have to refine the fundamentals to get better in those situations?
Yeah, that's something we're always working on, whether it's getting off blocks, tackling, throwing, catching. I can promise you, if you come to practice, you'd see that we're always working on fundamentals. It's something we pride ourselves in. Sometimes they're going to make some plays, and sometimes we're going to make some plays, and so that's the way the game goes. So a lot of confidence in Tremaine Edmonds that he'll make that play next go around.
Absolutely, Coach. Good luck this week.
All right, thanks.
Hi, Coach. Just wondering, at the end of the game, considering Josh was a little bit banged up, it's a long game, the heat, things like that. Did you consider at all maybe even trying to end the game there and going for it, or did you have it predetermined? If we get in this situation, we're going to get this to overtime?
Yeah, when we talked about it, a little bit, and just where we were, Josh was giving us good information on the sideline that he was, able to function, and that was clear for the most part. When he had to go and take it and run with it, he was able to do it and function there. So those are always things we talk about.
I understand you're not going to get into specific calls in the games and things like that. I don't want to put you in that spot, but I am wondering what the process is after any particular game, not just this one, if and how it works as far as feedback about officiating during a game. Do you guys have an opportunity to tell the league different things, or they get back to you? How does that normally work? I don't know if fans understand maybe the intricacies of all that and how that all goes.
Yeah, well, it really goes most of the time one direction. There's kind of one avenue you handle that on, and that's on Mondays with the league, and that's kind of the way you go about the communication end of that as well, in terms of what went down and some of the questions we may have had.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Hi, Sean. Wanted to ask about some of the players last night. In particular, I guess Josh Allen was saying that they could maybe point to this game down the road as possibly a turning point, even though they lost. Is it something that they can kind of build off of? And I'm just wondering, in your experience, either with this team or Carolina or Philly, anywhere, if you've, encountered anything similar to that, where you lost a game and the team has really come back and responded strongly.
Yeah, I think that those moments come in different forms every year for every team, in terms of what galvanizes a team a little bit, that you can look back on at season's end and say, hey, that was the moment. They're not always just on the field. They're sometimes off the field. It's just every season's a little bit different. There's things that have happened in my career, I can think of an airplane ride even coming to Buffalo years ago. We were in Philadelphia, and it got pretty bumpy, and I think we were had struggled early in the year then, and we came and took this flight, and it got pretty touch and go, but I felt it come up here, we won that game, and we had a little bit of a different course of a year from there. So it's just things that I think bring a team closer together, those shared experiences really, Nick, that can do that can galvanize a team and just bring it that much closer together. So it comes in different forms probably every season.
Okay. I want to ask too about, Carolina. I know that I just saw that they're going to continue to go with 2 quarterbacks. How much more difficult does that make it to prepare for that?
Yeah, I really haven't watched any film to this point. So respectfully, that's obviously what they've chosen to do. So we'll have to prepare for both and get ourselves ready to go with a good plan either way.
No, thanks.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, it's Jay with the Buffalo News. How much more do you know about Emmanuel Sanders' knee injury?
Yeah, he's got a knee sprain, so he'll most likely be out this week. Be week-to-week type of deal. Really impressed with what Gabe did when he stepped in there. Had some touches before, but obviously that game his reps went way up, and I thought he was very productive. Very detailed in his approach, and he was where he was supposed to be, and he made the plays. I mean, that 4th down was a big time play for us, obviously in a critical moment, and Josh trusted him to be where he's supposed to be, and they connected there. So I think he saw something right there that and a good young player that's got upside to him here.
Yeah. With John Feliciano, the decision to just limit him to special teams, was that health related or coaching decision lineup related?
A little bit of both. That's trust Brian and Bobby Johnson to go with the lineup they feel like is going to give them the best chance and offensively what they need. And John coming off the injury, I thought he had another good week of practice last week, and so we'll see where we'll see where it goes this week. But confidence in John as well as Ike and Daryl.
Okay. And then lastly for me, I don't think you were asked after the game about the decision to fake the punt. In that situation, if that is the call, maybe the counterpoint there is, why not keep your best player out there, Josh Allen, when you need 2 yards? Just walk me through the decision, A, to go for it, and then B, to go for it in that manner as opposed to leaving the offense out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you what the short version is. It felt like we had a good look. We talked about it all week in terms of the fake punt. Felt good about it. So execution level there, and then overall, I thought Jay and that we managed the game in such a way that it gave us a good chance to win at the end and multiple chances there. So I'm comfortable with that.
Cool. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Hey, Sean, a couple questions for you. First, kind of going off Jay's question, when you watched the game back today, there were multiple 4th down decisions, punting, not punting, that sort of thing. Were there any, when you watched it back, that you would have done differently, or any changes you would have made there?
Yeah, again, you're always looking at things you can do better as you go back through them. But again, the way we managed the game, I felt after the game that we gave ourselves a good solid chance to win, which was proven at the end of the game.
Yeah. And then obviously Josh's day-to-day, you're going to see how it goes, but just kind of in general, how have you seen Mitch kind of progress throughout the season in his backup role, and what's been your impression of him coaching him this year?
Yeah, very confident in Mitch Trubisky. He had a really good preseason. He's continued to progress through the year. Very, very appreciative of his team first approach for a guy that hasn't typically been in that role prior to coming here. And that takes a lot of character, and he has shown that every week, and I'm real proud of him for it. And he'll be ready to go if and when his number's called. And
one last one, just, and this was kind of touched on, but given Josh's, he's a very mobile quarterback and he could be limited by something like this. How much more do you feel like you need to see from him this week because of that? Is it more than, if he wasn't moving around like that, like is the bar higher for someone like him?
Well, I mean, that's a aspect of Josh's game. So I just think at the end of the day, we'll just see where he is one day at a time, and we'll make sure our medical team is highly involved here, and we'll go from there.
Thanks.
Hey, Sean, I think you were asked about this after the game yesterday, but after going back and watching the film, how did you think Dane Jackson performed, considering, last week there was only a handful of passes? So I guess it was probably a little bit tough to kind of get a gauge on it. How did you think he did last night?
Yeah, I thought he really competed. I really did. I mean, the run game, tackled extremely well, in terms of fitting the run off the edge there. And then he had some passes that, he was one-on-one in some situations. And I thought he was in really good position, great position, in fact, and he made some plays on the balls. And then he made, I think, another one down there in the fourth quarter. And they tested him on the far sideline, I believe, and he answered that challenge. And real proud of him to this point.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
Hi, Sean. Julianne Pelusi, Channel 2. So even after losing 3 of the last 4, your team seemed pretty inspired last night in post-game after the loss. Josh is injured. The rest of the team delivered in that comeback effort. What is your sense right now on the players' belief that they can make a playoff run?
Yeah, I think they're really focused right now on this next game. It's the most important game of our season, and Carolina has had some momentum of late in different ways, and they got this 2 quarterback thing, and so it'll be a challenge for us to prepare that way. And I think our guys are more focused on this week than anything, and I think that's where their focus needs to be, to play our best game at home against the Carolina Panthers.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, David Newton, good to see you again. Wanted to ask you, what do you see in the Cam Newton of 2021 versus the Cam Newton that you remembered back in 15, 16?
Yeah, I haven't really watched much this season, to be honest with you, David, as I'm just transitioning myself from yesterday's game to the Panthers. So, it's probably unfair for me to comment too much on Cam. He's always been a great quarterback, always been very mobile and a great competitor. And so we'll have to be well prepared for this week and this challenge.
I also want to ask you about Stephon Gilmore. The decision for you not to keep him when you were trying to rebuild things there. I understand a lot of that was financial. So have you watched much of him here now and the way he's playing now, and kind of fill me in on some of the details when you decided to move on from him?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, you can't keep every player that you want to keep, and he's a great player. A lot of respect for him, and when you come into a situation, every situation is a little bit different in terms of what you have and what's available, and so yeah, you'd love to be able to keep a player like that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Sean, Jonathan, I was in the Charlotte Observer. Hope you're doing well. I'm curious, what did you find? You guys' situations aren't exactly the same or anything like that, but you guys went 6-10 in your second season with the Bills, and the Panthers are struggling right now. I'm wondering, what did you find was important in helping you all over the next few years develop consistency?
Yeah, you know what? In our first season, we made the playoffs. And then the second year, we had to make some moves in order to get us to where we are, where we've been over the last couple of years. So every situation is a little bit different. I'd hate to compare our situation to their situation because respectfully, I don't really know their situation as well as I knew ours at the time.
Yeah, I didn't want you to look at their situation as yours the same, but I was just wondering what was important for you guys.
In
in turning that corner, finally turning that corner? What you felt
Yeah,
was good
again,
for you
just
guys?
staying with the plan that Brandon and I and the Pagulas had discussed when we came here, and just continue to execute that plan and pivot where we needed to pivot as things evolved over the course of the first year or two, and then just I think that the important thing with it was the support that we got from Terry and Kim, and the players did a phenomenal job, and I think drafting Josh Allen was a big piece of that.
That's all we have for today. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.